story time. So, it has come to my attention that somebody that I used to associate myself with recently discovered my YouTube channel. And I don't know if they discovered my Twitch. And quite frankly, I don't give a fuck if they have or not. I just want to make it known that this person is a genuine piece of shit, and he'd be so upset if his story got out there. But don't worry, I'll at least do him one favor. I'm not going to say his name directly. I'm not going to have people go out there and dox him and go after him. That'd be fucked up. But I'm just going to tell the story from my perspective and what I had to deal with for the better part of 13 years. And just a disclaimer, the events are 100% factual. Everything I said has actually been happened. I'm not lying about this. So that way we're not potentially harassing people. Their names will be changed. Alright? So, this is a story of a person that I'm just simply going to call Brian P. Fart. And this is his story. So, I met him way back in the day. We're talking about very early days of Destiny 1 when Vault of Glass first opened. He was just a random person that I met just by happen chance through another friend of mine who I don't associate myself with anymore. But I'm not talking about that guy. Me and Brian actually hit it off pretty well. We were friends for a good long time, but the dude has always had some anger management issues. The dude also has a history of not keeping jobs for long periods of time. What the fuck are you picking? Yes.
This is the same vehicle I used in Alien.
Nice. Anyway.
But continue with this too.
Stop distracting me. So, the dude can't keep a job. I want to say he's probably a few years older than me, I believe. I think. At least 2 or 3 years older than me. But the details of that is not really exactly important. The important thing is the dude has an anger management problem. He loves weed, which I don't fault people for smoking, as long as you're doing it properly and it's not fucking with your mental state hardcore. And the dude can't keep a job to save his life. We're talking about, I think the longest I've known the dude to ever hold a job for a long period of time, I shit you not, was probably about 2-3 months tops, probably. So, over the course of several years of knowing him, he would just go from job, and he was wondering why he can't keep a job or whatever. I keep giving him advice because he keeps going to get fast food and retail work. And look, I'll just say this, right? I'm not going to fault or blame people that work in those types of fields because, of course, people need to work those jobs. But I also view those jobs as the people that are working those types of jobs are usually children, older people that just want a little bit of a hobby job, or people that are just getting out of jail. I get that some people have certain disabilities and they probably have no other choice but to work those jobs, and honestly, that is fine. But if you're just a regular Joe Schmo and you're just grinding that McDonald's ladder to hopefully be a store manager and live your life as a store manager, what are you doing? Really, what are you doing? That's actively holding yourself back. In any case,
I'm trying to give you a table.
But what? A body?
I was trying to give you a table. Don't you see the table?
Oh, shit.
I was trying to give you the table so you have a desk I was talking from.
Oh my god. So, I would say one of the directions where the story takes a slight turn, I'm thinking back, it was probably around 2016 to 2018, within that ballpark of a window. He decided he didn't want to live where he was living anymore, and he thought it was a good idea to go move back to his home state in Oklahoma. I'm not going to list the location of where he used to live in Oklahoma or where he's currently living now in Michigan. So those are the two states that I know for a fact he's lived. So he moves to Oklahoma, and he thought that he had a buddy down there that was going to hook him up with a job and get him all squared away and situated. Surprise, he moves down there, planned with that dude getting him a job down there. The dude was lying. It ended up falling through. Everyone kind of felt bad because now he was broke and alone down there. And he luckily managed to room in with a buddy of his for a month or so that way he can actually get himself an apartment down there, which he spent a couple of years. And he was doing all right for a while, but like his mental cognitive was slowly starting to slip until I don't know if this is probably Twitch appropriate, but you know what, fuck it, we'll say it. At one point he does meth for the first time, and I felt like at that moment,
You call us the substances.
yes, he does the illegal substances. Well, he's done multiple illegal substances in this story, but that was a big one that he started off with. For the longest time, it was just literally cigarettes and weed, and maybe the occasional enjoyment of alcohol or whatever. But that wasn't very so often. It was mostly weed, which, again, I've never had a problem with anyone really smoking weed. So he does that. He tells me all about it. He felt bad about taking it, and I honestly believed the dude. Not that I thought he was like, oh shit, it was whatever. He was peer pressured into it, and then unfortunately he gave in. He felt bad about it. He told me that it was just a very bad time for him. And I was like, just simply put, I'm sorry you went through that. Don't do it again. Well, I don't know what else you can really say in that situation. It's just like, oh shit, that's really bad. Don't do that stuff anymore. All right, cool. And so I think he spent 2 years there. Eventually, he couldn't take it anymore. And I don't remember the details if his mom ended up bailing him out of there and sending him some money his way so he could move back to Michigan. But then he spent some time up there. He was running into the same problems, but still having more of a mental decline, slowly but steadily, right? And so we keep telling him, it's just like, look, obviously you keep working these retail and fast food jobs and none of them are working. You're tired of not getting paid enough, but yet you haven't really done anything to actually try to increase your pay. What you need to do is you need to work an actual hard-working job, and then just maybe you'll actually get some respect from people around you. And then he ended up getting a pretty cool moving job, which I think all of us in our friend group was actually really excited about. We were like, hell, that's awesome. Actually getting a moving position. The company was called, I believe it was called Two Guys in a Truck. It's actually more, I think it's more like a branch type deal. I don't know if it's just local in my general facility or whatever, but anyway, he just works for a moving company. Things are going well for him. I think he was probably about a month, if not 2 or 3 months into his job, where he gets a big opportunity to essentially work a gig. He was with another person, hence the 2 guys in a truck portion of it, and they had to help move some stuff from Michigan to Texas. And the thing about it, right, I don't know if it was just something that because of the job he wasn't able to smoke weed or do whatever to keep the edge off, and I don't know if something was wrong with him mentally, but I guess from what I remember of the story, they get down there, or they almost get down there, and Brian freaks the hell out. And he scares his worker so damn bad that I guess he abandons the truck, calls his boss, lets him know, hey, Brian's a fucking nut. I need to get out of here. Boss doesn't help him. The dude ends up calling his mom. Mom sends him money to get airplane ticket just to fly back. Meanwhile, Brian is left alone with this moving truck with a customer's shit still in the back of the truck, mind you. And instead of either finishing the job or calling the boss himself to figure out the situation, he ends up just driving around with the shit. until eventually the police got involved. He gets arrested. He gets charged for Grand Theft Auto and possession of stolen goods worth more than $2,500. Not good. And then it was also around this time that COVID hit. And I think how it was set up, because that charge was originally set in Oklahoma because he ended up getting picked up around there, I believe. And the crazy thing about it was because of COVID and all the other little distractions and whatnot, I don't think it ever went through, or I don't know if it was time served. I have no idea, but I didn't hear from him for damn near a year. And then the early part of 2021, he finally gets a new PlayStation console. Me and some of my friends, we were excited because it was like, oh shit, hey, welcome back. And then he tells us all about it, what I said. And it's just like, oh shit, that's, wow. Holy crap, that's so fucked up. But then he was basically going from Michigan to Oklahoma at least once or twice a month for court hearings that I don't think ever went anywhere. And so I believe it was the fall of 2021. We were playing, gosh, I'm trying to remember the game at the time. We were playing Fallout 76 of all games. And me and, another person that I definitely don't associate myself with, we were playing, and we were going to invite him to play with us. But for some reason, instead of an actual party, we were all in, I think it was like a Facebook Messenger video call or something. We were like, so we all joined it, and we were talking to him, video calling, and the dude looked completely off his rocker. The dude was fidgeting quite a bit. Brian looked like a mess. His pupils were extremely dilated. And so we were sending messages back and forth personally on Messenger. And I was definitely not comfortable with the call whatsoever. And so I messaged the other person I was with, and I was like, dude, I think he's on something. And then that's when he was like, I think he's on some rocks, or translate that for what you want to know. Dude was on some rocks. And I was like, I don't know about this. And then he's like, I'm going to say something. And so the other person that I was with, that, again, I don't associate myself with this person anymore just because of really shitty decisions that that person made. But that's a story for another time. He asks Brian, hey, how big of a rock did you end up smoking before you jumped on this call? A normal person, when asked this question, right, they'll be like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Or really question why you would ask that. This person, Brian, answers, why? Are my pupils really big? And it's just like, what the fuck kind of moment? What kind of response is that? Out of any and all kinds of responses, it's just absolutely what the fuck, dude. And so I made the executive decision. Is just like, no, I'm not dealing with this. My stance is on drugs, right? I believe that natural drugs are fine, right? Weed is fine, shrooms are fine. It is what it is, right? As long as you're taking the shit responsibly, not messing with your mental psyche. You do hard drugs, the big M, or you do rocks like that, I have a big problem whenever it comes to that. So I removed him from the group, and then he started freaking the hell out, getting mad, going off on everyone, cussing all of us out, slurring and shit. And then this dude, for whatever reason, thankfully I deleted the photo from one of the old group chats so I didn't have to see it, but he ends up sending his thing in the chat. I deleted it, so I never got a chance to see it, but apparently from the people that have seen it, they laughed. It said it was so fucking tiny. It was just like, and they were laughing, they were like, bro, no wonder this dude can't get a girl. It's no wonder that this dude has so many problems. The dude has like a small little fucking stump. And so then we don't hear from him again for 2-3 years, right? And it was also back in this era back then, and still probably up until 2025. I've always give people multiple chances to redeem themselves because I try to be a good person at heart. I still do, but I definitely give people less chances now than what I have in the past. 2020, I think it was 2023 or 2024. I'm pretty sure it was 2024. Started talking to him again. I don't know if he ended up probably within several months after that situation with him flashing his little tiny thumb that's in between his legs. He ends up trying to hit on this one bartender chick, right? And this chick didn't want to have anything to do with him. But Brian, for some reason, can't take no for an answer. That's the funny thing. The dude couldn't take no for an answer. So it got so bad that she filed her for harassment charges. And he ends up going to jail. And now currently the dude is on probation for said charge for 5 years. I think he still has maybe 3 years left to serve, maybe 4 tops. But anyway, excuse me, let me take a drink real quick. Holy shit. I didn't realize it was going to take this long to tell this story, but folks, we're getting there. That's good fucking energy drink right there. Anyway, so he ends up getting another PlayStation, and we were just chatting with him. I think at this point too, he also ends up losing access to his original account, I believe. So he has to build his collection all over again. And it was the same problem as before. He's on probation. He seemed to be doing better. He wasn't doing he wasn't on weed, which at this point, he really didn't need to be on weed because he wasn't mentally there. He had so many issues that weed at that point would just make him more delusional, paranoid, and fucked up. So he really didn't need to be on it at that point. Again, well, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. Give me a minute, stand by. So then a whole bunch of people were talking so much shit about him, so much creepy shit. There was a story that he was told us, but then for some reason he told other people about this story, and that's when the whole PDF file allegations started coming out against him. Because there was a point in time where he was watching a couple of his nieces and nephews, and they were playing outside, they got dirty, and instead of getting a hold of their parents to come pick up the kids so he can give them a bath, he decided to take it upon himself to wash those kids. Now granted, he never did anything bad to those children, but I guess those kids' parents were like freaking out about it. Now, do I think that situation was definitely weird? Absolutely. Do I think he should have called the parents about it? Yeah, absolutely. And do I think that he would be considered a PDF file because of that? No. But the problem is with this, and this is going to become a reoccurring pattern, everybody he meets and everyone he talks to, he constantly tells his life story and constantly tells them stories about horrendous shit. And then that stuff tends to spread to other people. So everyone at this point is hearing these stories, and they're like, man, this person almost sounds like a PDF file. When really, he's not. He keeps telling people stories about this, and it's fucking gross. And then there's also other allegations too, where he claims that his mother, that for some reason he claims that is not really his mother, but actually is more than likely his mom, because he's delusional shit, is having an ancestral relationship with Brian's brother. And for some reason, he believes that's happening. And then also for some reason, this is the gross shit right here, he thinks it's actually hot, which I'm sitting here, that's fucking gross. Why are you even saying that? Don't say that shit. That's, dude, so fucking nasty. And then there's other shit too. that he said, but basically all this stuff that he says keeps on going around. Everyone's calling him all these names and stuff like that. Everyone's calling him a freak. Everyone's calling him a weirdo, and he's getting pissed at every single job that he has that he can't hold for no longer than a month or two at a time. He's like, everyone fucking knows what I'm doing, and it's just so annoying. Everyone keeps calling me a freak and weirdo, and he's crying to us. And then that's when I got really hard on him. And I told him straight up what he needed to do. It's just like, this is what you need to do. How many years do you have on your probation? 4 years? Alright, cool. This is what you need to do. You need to get a job, preferably a job that is outside of your town. Alright? Work that job. Invest in some little earbuds. If you can listen to some earbuds at work to tune everyone out and do your fucking job, you do that. Or if you can't use earbuds to do your job, fucking ignore everyone else if you have to, except for your bosses. Do your fucking job. Oh, and this is the most important thing. Shut the hell up. Don't talk to anyone about your business. Don't talk to anyone about your personal life. Go to work, do your fucking job, shut the fuck up, go home, do it over again. Save up money until you have enough money to move out of your mom's apartment and go to a different town, preferably on the complete other side of Michigan where you are currently living in, since you're on probation and you can't leave the state of Michigan for 5 fucking years. Go to a town in Michigan where nobody knows you. Start over. Get another job. Work that job. Shut the fuck up about your personal shit. And then just keep saving up money until you have enough money to eventually move out. Maybe get a nicer apartment. Maybe even get a fucking small house somewhere quiet on the outskirts of town somewhere. But then once you're able to get out of Michigan, leave Michigan. Don't go back. Don't go to Oklahoma. There's 48 other fucking states where you can go to some random town. And as long as you don't tell anyone about your personal fucking business, you'll live a very happy, comfortable life. And all you have to do is just shut the fuck up. Because believe me, nobody would call you a PDF file. Hell, I don't even call him a PDF file because of all the stuff that has been going on, because I know for a fact that's not true. But because he keeps talking about it, everyone's going to keep calling him a PDF file. And it's just it's a stupid situation that could be easily avoided, and all he has to do is just shut the fuck up. It's that easy. And he finally understood that for probably about a week, and then he lost his job, and then it started that whole vicious cycle all fucking over again. And that's the last time I'm fucking giving you any kind of advice. 13 years of this shit off and on dealing with your bullshit, and this was the last fucking time I was going to actually actively give you a fucking hand. At this point, genuinely, fuck you. And then there's other little side stories too, but it's honestly more comical. Right? One of the little things, and this is the thing that cracks me up the most. So he's never really had a true father figure in his life. It's sad, but hear me out on this, alright? So he doesn't really know who his dad is. And he thinks he knows who his dad is, but the likelihood of that person being his dad is almost non-existent. Why do I say this? This dude, this 35-year-old man, fully believes in his fucking head that he is the biological son of Violent J. Now, who is Violent J? Violent J is one of the frontmen, singers, or performers, or whatever the fuck you would want to consider, of the Insane Clown Posse. Rap group from the 90s, early 2000s. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I don't listen to their music. But anyway, he fully believes that, Violent J is his dad. Oh, and then remember whenever I mentioned that he thinks his mother is not his real mother? He still fully believes that, even though he's still living with his mom. But he fully believes that his mother was the bassist for White Zombie. I shit you not, this is the delusions that this person is going towards. Anyway, the funny thing is this dude spent money for an ancestry kit or 23andMe. I don't know what service that he went through. All I know is that he paid $60 for this kit. He took a swab, I'm sure of saliva or just his DNA in general, sends it back. He had to wait like 4-6 weeks or whatever for the results. And basically was nationalities, you're more likely around here. And then I think once, that's like broad one, but if you want more detail, you can go into the system. Now granted, that system is only registered for people that are within that system. But still, they gave broad percentage-wise. The likelihood of this person actually being your father is 0.0 some odd percent. It's like basically almost nothing. Dude paid $60, looked at a fucking sheet of paper, saw that percentage, and was like, yep, he's my dad. Oh my god. Like, how fucking retarded do you gotta be? Genuinely, how retarded do you have to be to fully believe that? Holy fuck. Oh, and then one of the recent things that I was told is he's been recently getting into demonology. Yes, he believes that demonology is the solution to finally convince Violent J that he's his own biological son. But then he also believes that Violent J is actively quote-unquote hexing him so that way he'll never meet him. It's just fucking delusions and shit. But now the real question is, what actually did he do for me to cut ties with him completely? Well, it was actually something that was simple that's happened. And it was a very simple thing, right? So whenever we started talking again back in 2024, 2025, right, I added him to a group of chat that we were in. Basically, the boys where I hang out with now. My buddy Chris. Chris is a really good dude. He doesn't have much in life, but he's really down to earth, and he's a genuinely good person to hang around with. And for some reason, Brian thinks that he is out to get Chris. And it's so sad because he would make comments, if we ever meet in real life, I would beat the shit out of you. And Chris would be sitting there just like, bro, what the fuck are you even saying? What did I even do to you? And the reality of it, Chris didn't do anything. Brian is just being retarded. For real, super fucking retarded. And so, let's see, going on. So that was like the first time it was just like, I think he ended up actively leaving. And he wondered why everyone was pissed off at him. And we were like, dude, we're pissed off at you because you went off on Chris for literally no reason. And Brian was like, but he was just doing his butt. And bro, we were there and nothing happened. And so he ended up apologizing eventually and coming back. But I told him straight up, because he fully believed one of the reasons why he blew up and left the first time was because Chris was going around and telling everyone that he was a PDF file, which that wasn't even the case. And that was one of the things that he started complaining about is, well, Chris was saying to his friends that I was a PDF file. And I shut that down immediately. It's just like, my brother in Christ, nobody's calling you a PDF file. No one is calling you all this horrendous shit. If anything, we want you to actually succeed in life and not be a complete fuck up like you have been for the longest time. We just want you to be happy. We just want you to stop talking about your personal life to random fucking strangers in your neighborhood. And just shut the fuck up and keep living life. I said it backwards. What do you mean? There's certain aspects I had to keep on going back and forth from as I keep going along. I know the very end part was a whole lot of jumping around, but I was telling the story, but I remember that portion of it right there. But I do remember what happened afterwards, after I went off on him and he came back. It was probably maybe a few months he lasted. And I remembered it was last year in April. I had to leave house because I had to run and do some stuff. And it was like myself, Brady, Chris, Brian, and I think Derek, you were there too, right? I don't remember if you were there or not. I think you were there. Either that or you just joined afterwards. You were in there. That's what I thought. And it was like, oh, all right. Bye, Dark Lord. The moment he was quiet, he was like, Brian wasn't really even saying anything. He was actually being kind of cool about it. The moment I left, he started talking shit to Chris and started threatening violence against him. And then he left the party. Didn't leave the group, but just left the party. I catch wind about this, and I immediately went off on him. I told him, this was your last chance. You literally waited until I leave to do something really fucking stupid. I am done with your bullshit. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Have a good rest of your life, because honestly, you really need it. That might not be the exact verbiage, but it was pretty damn close enough. And then, from what I can gather, from what I was been told, it was just like a matter of time where it falling apart. He was just falling apart. He's still falling apart. And believe me, I have my methods. I definitely keep tabs. And that's my story of Brian, a genuine piece of shit that doesn't take any kind of accountability for any of the actions that he does. Always blames others. Always blames his delusions for shit that he puts himself through. And honestly, Brian, if you want to have any kind of respect from me and many others, brother, just simply get a job, stick with a job, and just shut the fuck up. For Christ's sakes, just shut the fuck up. And Brian, if you do see this, and I really hope you do see this, fucking Brian, I really do hope for the best, but you got a lot of demons going on in you that you really need to fix. And so, seriously, take my advice, all the advice that I gave you over the 13 fucking years that I've known you, really take that to heart, and I promise you, you will live a much happier, healthier, mentally cognitive life. And I know how much you like weed, but honestly, until you get your shit figured out, I would really just recommend staying off the weed. It's really that simple. Hope this helps.